So we've had some breaking news in just the last 30 minutes. President Trump canceling Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner's trip to Pakistan after Iran said they would not meet face to face. So I got to get your take. What do you make of all of this?
Yeah, I think what it shows is that Iran is in complete disarray. They have no idea who's running what. I think the generals that are left are kind of fighting amongst themselves to see who's going to be the next leader. And I really think that had a lot to do with it. And the president does not want to waste the time of his team. 18-hour flight over there,
Sure.
just to sit around and wonder who is in charge. But I think it's been very clear, by them canceling by Iran, canceling the peace talks, they're willing to take the hit of U.S. military, either that or they just don't know who to talk to. But the U.S. military, I think, has shown its superiority. I mean, we've got folks that are over there right now. They are opening up the strait. They are showing that there are so far no missiles in the strait, and in Iran's capacity to be able to continue with any kind of economy is on the brink. Their tankers are all full. They have reached their storage, their storage facilities for oil. And what's going to end up happening is those facilities are going to end up getting caught with water, and they're never going to be able to come back. So when the president says we've got all the time in the world, he's not kidding. He's got a lot more time than Iran has. And I would really hope that the Iranians, the Persian folks, come to grips with recognizing that they need to have a new regime, and it can't be the old terrorist regime.
Well, what do you think is going to come next now that we've had this pause and this start and stop? What does it tell us about really the difficulty of getting a deal done?
Well, I think Iran may be just trying to run the clock out. I think that's a mistake. I don't think they have nearly as much time as they believe that they do. They are in, like I said, disarray right now. But the president is standing strong. He is being very clear. He's opening up. He's saying, if you want to come talk, all you got to do is call. But you have to make a good faith effort to come to the negotiating table. And until they do that, he's holding strong. I think that's a very good message to send them.
Do you think obviously it's a step back, or maybe it's a pause, but how big of a step back do you think it is?
And I don't know, quite honestly, that it's a step back. I think what it shows is that Iran doesn't know what to do right now. They're biding for time as they get their own government in order and figure out who is running what. They don't want the rest of the world to see that they have no clue, and that's in complete chaos. So I don't know it's necessarily a step back. I think the Iranian folks, again, they need to figure out how they want to move forward, how they want to proceed, and who's going to be running and who's going to be at the negotiating table. But you want to make sure that whoever you're negotiating with actually has the power to agree to a peace treaty and to agree to how the future is going to move forward. And right now, I would argue that they don't have that.
We keep saying all eyes on the strait, and for us in America, many people are all eyes on the gas pump because those prices remain above $4 on average amid the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Let's take a listen to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on what he says Americans need most at this point.
Now, Americans want one thing now: relief. That's what Americans want right now. Lower gas, lower groceries, lower electric bills, lower costs for housing, lower costs for health care, lower costs for child care. Unfortunately, Republicans seem to have a different priority.
I was in California 2 days ago, and I got whiplash looking at the signs. It was $5 a gallon, $7 for diesel. It's really a huge problem for so many people across the country. You're also on the House Committee on Small Business. So can you share with us what you're doing to help your constituents struggling with higher prices? It's not just at the pump, it's everywhere.
Yeah, look, I wish that was a Chuck Schumer 5 years ago. Where was that guy when they were, putting all these regulatory constraints on energy companies that were forcing the prices up? What about all of the environmental policies that they've got in California and New York, and the taxes that they take out of their gas? If they were real serious about wanting to have lower gas prices, why don't they start at the state level in these massive blue states that are taking so much out? But what we're trying to do is, again, with our working families tax cut bill, is we lowered the regulatory necessity on costs on our energy producers, which is why you are seeing so much energy actually being produced here, why you're not seeing what you saw during the Biden administration of $5 a gallon gas. This is a temporary price increase in energy. Once the strait is open, you're going to see those energy prices, come down. But, everything that we worked for in that one big, beautiful bill, you're actually seeing the benefits of it. You're seeing over $230 billion out in tax refunds to
Right.
working families. You're seeing the increased amount in the child, care deduction. You're seeing, the child accounts that are being set up for kids' futures. So I think, when you're seeing wages now that are outpacing inflation, that is all as a result of the policies of the last year. But they were compounded, they were created under the Biden administration. And again, Chuck, where were you then?
Yeah, listen, I mean, we're going to see where it goes next. I'm so glad that you were on the program today, and I hope you'll come back. Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.